my name is Sarah and welcome to the Bookish Knitter and welcome to my February 2025 TBR. Say it with me everybody, it's TBR time. Yay! And of course it's February. I got these at the dollar store, this little headband. Isn't this delightfully cute? How could I not wear it for this video? I feel like I look like a moose, like a Valentine moose. We'll go with it. We're going with it. So yeah, I do not have a lot of books to share with you guys because even though I do have a number of books on my TBR for the month of February, I'm only sharing a handful with you. And basically the ones that I'm going to share with you are the next in series that I plan on reading. Books that I read the first ones in January. These are the ones I plan on reading in February, the next in series. Also, the books that I have picked for the Retro Romance Readathon. So I want to share those with you guys as well. So yeah, let's jump in and get started. So we're going to start off with the Cozy Mysteries. So there are 3 Cozy Mysteries that I would really like to get to in February. And the first one is Bewitched, Bothered, and Biscotti, and this is by Bailey Cates. This is the second book in the Magical Bakery Mystery Series. I read book number 1 in January, and it says, as a new witch, not to mention owner of Savannah's most enchanted bakery, Katie Lightfoot is still getting used to casting spells, brewing potions, and mastering her magical powers. But that doesn't mean she can't find time to enjoy a picnic with firefighter Declan McCarthy until she stumbles upon a corpse. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. Again, second in series. I am looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the next book that I have listed here is The Cat Who Ate Danish Modern by Lillian Jackson Braun, which is the second book in the Cat Who Mystery series. I cannot wait to read this one. It says, Jim Quillerin is not exactly overwhelmed by his new assignment for the Daily Fluxton. Interior design has never been one of his specialties, and now he's supposed to turn out an entire magazine on the subject every week. But the first issue of Gracious Abodes is barely off the presses when Quillerin finds himself back on more familiar territory. The exclusive residence featured on the cover has been burglarized, and the lady of the house is dead. Now Quillerin and Coco, the brilliant Siamese, have their respective mustaches and whiskers twitching, and when Coco starts pawing clues in the dictionary and sniffing designer furniture, Quillerin finds himself doing a feature on a very clever murderer. So yay. Book number 2. I didn't realize I had a copy of it. I was super stoked when I came across it. So yay. I love reading these in this format. It's just so much fun. So yay on that one. Cannot wait to get to it. And the last cozy isn't one that I read the first book in, but this is one. Okay, so the Killing Time Cozies group is doing a 3-month read along. So they picked a trilogy that has been written, and in February, March, and April, we're going to be reading one of each of the books. So February, we're going to be reading book number 1, and I love the title of this one. It's just delightful. And this is Eclair and Present Danger by Laura Bradford. Now, I've never read Laura Bradford before, so I'm so happy that this series was picked. And this is the first book in an Emergency Dessert Squad mystery series. And it says, with her rent rising faster than her pie crust, bakery owner Winnie Johnson had hoped to be rescued by an inheritance from a wealthy friend and neighbor Gertrude. Instead, all she inherits is the widow's hostile hissy-tabby Lovey and a vintage abundance restored by Gretchen's late husband. As her dream crumbles, Winnie makes her final delivery, a peach pie to an elderly widower. But she finds Bart Wagner lying on his kitchen floor, smothered by a pillow. So, sounds really good. I cannot wait. I'm so glad we're doing this as a group read. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I do enjoy a good group read, so yeah, that one will be enjoyable. Next, let's get on to the romance books. So there's a bunch of romance, but there's only one series book that is non-category. So this is not category romance books that I plan on getting to. And that is When Lightning Strikes by Brenda Novak. So this is the first book in the Whiskey Creek series. This is a reread for me. I am rereading my way through this entire series. In January, I read the final book in the series, and it was a category. It was a special edition novel, but I loved it. And I realized how much I missed the Whiskey Creek town, and it's been a long time since I visited there, so I decided to go back and start the series from scratch and start it over again. There is a novella that comes before this one, and I think it's called When Summer Comes, so I probably end up reading that one first, and then I'll get to When Lightning Strikes. But yeah, I am looking forward to this one. Like I said, book number 1 in the Whiskey Creek series. It's Brenda Novak. It's going to be delightful. Now let's get into the category romance books. So first off, we have a desire novel, and this is going to be One Colorado Night by Joanne Rock. This is the second book in the Return to Catamount series. And I read the first book in January. and it said, she vowed to make peace with her past. Now she's having her ex's baby. After her parents' messy divorce and her own bad breakup with rancher Ryder Wakefield, Jessamine Barclay cuts all ties to Catamount, Colorado. But the New York real estate guru is back, reunited with her estranged siblings to claim their inheritance, and reuniting with Ryder to rekindle their undeniable fire. Now Jess is expecting his child. Will she give their relationship a real second chance, especially once she learns the secret he's been keeping about her father? So, da, da, da. And of course, this is building off of book number 1. I read book number 1 in January and I really liked it. So yeah, I am looking forward to this one. The next one is actually the first book in the series because I read the 8th book in January. And this is Last Chance Marriage Rescue by Catherine Mann, the first book in the Top Dog Dude Ranch series. Nina and Douglas Archer are on the verge of divorce. He's retreated from her since his brother's death, and their dairy ranch is on the brink of bankruptcy. But they've both determined to keep it together for one last family vacation, planned by their devious 10-year-old twins. They're surprised to find themselves giving into the romance of evening hikes and family cookouts. Still, Nina knows she needs an emotionally available husband. Will a once-in-a-lifetime trip show them the way back to each other? Does that not sound delightful? A true second chance romance, because they are married, and I just love the rekindling of a marriage. I know that's not everybody's favorite trope, if you will, but I really do love seeing that, because the I do is not necessarily always the happily ever after, and I think a lot of us who have been married for a while could tell you that. So yeah, I love this. I cannot wait to get to it. The next one is, just let me double check to make sure I'm not missing anything here. Is another first in the series. I read the 3rd book in January, and now I'm going back to read book number 1, and this is Diving Into Forever by Laurel Greer, the first book in the Love at Hideaway Wharf series. This is a male-male romance. So this story is about the female lead from the book that I read. This is her brother's romance. So, to complete his beloved late sister's bucket list, Chef Kellen Murphy needs to triumph over his fear of deep water. Enter American dive instructor Sam Walker. As kind as he is electrifying to every fiber of Kell's being, Sam's soon nudging his way into the Irishman's heart. But with Kellen's dive certification comes an inheritance and the restaurant of his dreams as a continent away. Is Kellen's future really on Oyster Island with Sam? So yeah, so I don't know whether this actually takes place on Hideaway Wharf or whether it takes place in Ireland or both. That should be exciting. So I am looking forward to this one. Again, I did enjoy their unlikely, what was it called? Their something future. Why am I oh my gosh, my brain is just not working. Why can I not remember the title of that book? I just read it. But anyway, I did enjoy it. I gave it 3.5 stars. So I am looking forward to getting to this one. And the next one that we have, I am currently reading book number 1 now. So I will have it done, of course, before the end of the month. And I will be getting to book number 2, which is Unlikely Alibi by Lisa Childs. This is the second book in the Colton 911 Chicago series. Heath Colton is on the verge of taking his company to the next level. But when a double homicide shatters his world, he doesn't know where to turn. VP Kylie Givens desires to safeguard Kylie Givens' desire to safeguard him leaves him with no choice. He agrees to go along with a faux romance, but Heath's feelings for Kylie are more than he's ready to admit, and now they're both in a killer's crosshairs. So yeah, I don't know how this, other than they're all take place in Chicago and they're all Colton characters, there is usually an overarching plot. I don't know what that is yet. I will find it when I get to book number 2, I'm sure. So yeah, so that is that one. And then the last little bit we have here are the 3 books that I have picked for the Retro Romance Readathon. So there are 3 prompts, if you will. For those of you who like prompts like me, Storm, I know, is not a prompt person. I am, which is why this works so well. So we're doing 3 quick little prompts. You don't have to do them. As long as you read a romance that it was published prior to 2005, so 2005 and earlier, it counts. So I have 3 books because I did pick 1 per prompt. So the first prompt is a category romance, and the book I picked for that one is Ring and a Teacup by Betty Niels. This is also the featured author, one of the featured authors for the category romance book club that I host every month for the month of February. This I am buddy reading with Tammy over at Believe in Your Shelf. I'll leave link to both Storm's channel, Storm Reads, and Tammy's channel in the description box below, so you guys can check them out. But her and I are buddy reading this. If you want to join in on this, you absolutely can. This is an older book, but Betty Neal's is widely available. I'm sure you can pick a copy of this up at your library or Libby or whatever. They are available digitally, you know, with a different cover. So yeah, but this is the one that is going to get read. It says, Nurse Lucy Pendergast has not made a good impression. Falling asleep during a consultant's lecture was hardly the best way to attract the great man's attention. So she sets out to correct the bad impression she made to Dr. Fram de Lisson. However, seems to have a positive genius for catching her at the most awkward situations. I cannot read the rest because there's a sticker on it. So anyway, but yeah, I am looking forward to getting to that one. And then the next prompt is a cover with like spring or summer on the cover. And I picked this one. I've shown this to you guys recently. I hauled this recently. And this is Kissed by an Angel by Kathy Clark. She would always have the guilt, and it changed Christy Harrison's life. She could not do her job. She could not stay in Denver, where it all began. The only thing she could do was get away. Her friend's Florida beach house was the perfect retreat. There she would try to find the one thing that had eluded her for the past 6 months: peace. When nightmares drove her from her bed and sought the quiet of the moonlit beach, it was there that Scott Sanders, driven by his own midnight demons, first meet her. They had their secret guilt, but could they dare to hope to find peace in each other's arms? Does that not sound delightful? Oh, sorry, we've got sneezing. We cannot do a video without a sneezing Presley. So we've got that one as well. And then the last prompt is your favorite trope. So I stretched on this one just because I really wanted to reread this book. And the trope I'm going with is like city girl in the country. So I'm going to be rereading for the first time in 22 years, Heaven Sent by Jacqueline Diamond and Shotgun Nanny by Nancy Warren. This is the very first category romance book I ever read. So for the first time, like I said, in 22 years, because this came out in 2002, yeah, that's right? I am going to reread this book. 23 years. I'm going to reread this book. So this is 2 books in one. And they are independent of each other in this one. So you do not need to read one to read the other one. But these were never published anywhere else. So this is a single book. And Heaven Sent by Jacqueline Diamond. The last thing Dr. Nancy Venero wants to do for the summer is be a nanny in Texas. When she finds herself on Max Ritchie's musty ranch with a bunch of cowboys, she knows there's no turning back. Besides, how hard can it be to take care of a couple of kids? She's a child psychologist, for goodness sake. But no amount of school ever prepared her for her sexy boss. And then the second book is Shotgun Nanny. Annie Parker doesn't believe in taking life too seriously. She is, after all, a clown by profession. Her motto is have fun, make 'em laugh, and move on. That applies to her love life too. So why does super serious ex-Mountie and bachelor dad, Mark Sanders, I forgot there was a Mountie in this book, get her heart racing, while his shy niece gets her heart aching? And why on earth does she agree to be a temporary nanny? So yay. So the trope for me would be in the first book with, like I said, the city girl kind of in the country. So yeah. Kind of sort of last but not least, this was picked yesterday. So I hauled these books a couple weeks ago. Mills and Boon Australia sent these to me, the 50th anniversary editions. So this was a toss-up between this book and the Cowboy at Heart book. And I asked you guys to vote in that video, which one should I read in February? The votes were absolutely tied. So I put out a short for my members only yesterday, and it went up for a number of hours. And then late last night, I put it out to the general public so everybody could see it. Now, if you have not seen that short, I will pop it in at the end here because it's super cute. Presley actually picked this book. So yay. So here it is. So my bind up for the month of February is going to be Reunion and Marriage. And this is by Lynn Graham, Melanie Milburn, and Kate Hewitt. These are all Presents novels, and they're all relatively recent. I think the oldest one is from 2015. So unfortunately, none of them would actually count for the retro romance, but and rereading them anyway. And The Innocent's Forgotten Wedding by Lynn Graham. Sorry about the sneezing, you guys. I really am. Hold on. Are we good now? He doesn't do this at all until I sit down to do this, I swear. So like I said, The Innocent's Forgotten Wedding by Lynn Graham, The Return of Her Billionaire Husband by Melanie Milburn, and The Marcoquis Marriage by Kate Hewitt, which is the oldest one from 2015, I think. So yay on that. When I read this, I count this as a single book. I'm counting this as one book read. But when I update my spreadsheet, I count each book individually because that's a thing. Because that's what I do. Don't judge me. I want to show this pretty book basically as a book that I read this year. Is that weird? It's weird, right? And very, very last but not least, the Back to My Childhood or Childhood Favorites books or whatever you want to call them that I'm going to be reading in February. I've got 5 of them here. We're going back to Sweet Valley. So we've got some Sweet Valley High books for February. We will be reading number 1, Double Love. Book number 2 is Secrets. Book number 3 is Playing with Fire. Book number 4 is Power Play, and book number 5 is All Night Long. So those will also be read in February. So yay, there are a lot of other books I have on my list to read in February. So this is not definitely all of them. I mean, this is a lot. I could probably just leave it at this and call it a day. But there are other books that I have on my list. And yeah, so stay tuned for my daily vlogs to see what I'm reading on a day-to-day basis. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys. Hello, channel members, coming to you with a quick short. So a couple weeks back, when I received the 50th anniversary editions, those bind-ups from Mills & Boon, Australia, I asked you guys to vote on which book that I should include in my February TBR. Either the reunion and marriage book or the cowboy romance book. And surprisingly, they got the same amount of votes each. So we need to make a choice, make a decision on which is actually going to get read in February. So I have a coin here. So we're going to flip a coin, my friends. So let me just turn the camera around. So we have Presley joining us for this. So we have our lovely Canadian coin. I've been told that the beaver is tails and the queen is heads. So let's go ahead. Oh, maybe Presley just picked. Should we do that instead? Did you pick the book, Pressy? All right, we're not even going to flip a coin. Presley picked the book. Thanks, sweetheart. All right, thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.